So when we first got here, you didn't know much about Thomas or Evan because Evan wasn't part of the team and Thomas hadn't really developed it. But when we came out of spring ball, he was a guy that through the first practice, Thomas Johnson showed up, had put a ton of weight on, got really strong in the weight room, and plays with a huge chip on his shoulder. He's your typical homegrown, tough, a lot of pride and coastal type player, and it shows in his play, and he brings it every day. That some guys are like, they just have it, and then sometimes there's an off day. There's no off day for him. He's always that kind of guy. So that's been fun to watch every day because he is a bulldog out there, just getting after people's room. And then Evan Jumper, super cerebral. Obviously, he went to Furman and graduated, so very intelligent player, extremely smart. I recruited Evan when he came out of high school. Had some guys play some different spots, just see what they can handle. Because sometimes when the season goes, you got injuries, you got plug and play. So you want to make sure they understand the full concept of everything, and really try and teach conceptually, so they understand the big picture, not just what that guy does for that one play, right? We talk about a master level of learning. Sometimes you're just trying to memorize what to do, and sometimes you're trying to really refine how you do it. But when you got that part down, and you kind of master level, and you can be working on your specific techniques and how to do it, and be able to play multiple positions. That's where you really get true championship level depth. And so we challenged our guys with that a little bit early on in fall camp. We kind of honed in now on where guys are going to be going to game, so game one, so we can really just make sure that we know how we need to do it against an opponent that's going to be very tough this first game, and let them be able to play fast.
And you mentioned, obviously there's a lot of skilled players, obviously Grayson, Sam, Garrett, and obviously Max, CJ, and Reese. Who do you see, obviously they're all going to be used, but who do you see in the Lindbergh Beckham is going to be the number one guy, the guys who are taking this carries?
I think it's going to be a game-by-game scenario. They all bring something different, and it's honestly, when you have this kind of problem, I'm good because we got 4 to 5 guys that could probably carry the load. We really do. And so that being said, we've got to be creative in ways to get them the ball. Because if we know 3 of them can really help us, right, then we need to find ways to get 3 guys the ball, right, along with the guys on the outside, along with Grayson and all that. So really, it's a good problem to have, right? So not what they want, or they have everybody back, and it is exactly what we thought it would be. We know with this group, toughness on offense with this group that's playing for us isn't really a question. They've been through close games. You had Southern last year. You had a lot of games last year that were close, right? They've been through those battles, and even quarterbacks wise, Jared Guest played some games last year. You've got some depth there that guys have played. So right now it's not going to be a deal where you have to worry about performance anxiety. You just got to worry about making sure that we're putting them in positions to let them go play at that point in time. Because anything else outside of that, they've already experienced. So we know that when our backs are going to be against the wall, the guys aren't going to fold, because they've been there, they've done it. So we just got to make sure that, again, we just are putting them in positions for them to be successful.
And a question for me, obviously, a guy a little bit further down the depth chart that's starting his first year, Scotty Saylor, one of your quarterbacks. Just talk a little bit about him and how he's progressed here and how he's learned from the upperclassmen.
For sure, Scott's awesome. One of, genuinely just one of the greatest kids ever, and very smart, very funny, dry humor. It's hilarious. Brings a lot to our room. Our guys love him. The team loves him. He's he's loved Sean's clear football since he's grown up. This has been his dream. And, he's just a pup. He's learning. He's got a long ways to go. But, again, what you talk about, you have bricks and mortar in a program. He's that mortar. Sometimes, Grayson calls brick, same thing, he's brick, and you got those guys. But the mortars are the guys that keep things together in the locker room and really just the dynamic of your culture. And they're just always, taking pride in, like we talked about with Thomas and Evan. And Scott's one of those guys, and so extremely happy that he's part of our team, and it's an absolute pleasure to coach him.
Coach, we're kind of talking about the team melding the last few weeks. Now that we're only about a week out from a game, is there anything that changes now in prep to, you mentioned classes getting started, and what maybe are you guys zoning in on here now as we're just a couple
now
days
you're
out?
doing more scout team, so it's less against the defense, and our defense is unique, so we go out there and we line up and we see this, and they're hard off. It's this is the pieces. So our defense does a really good job of being disruptive. So when you transition, it's a deal where now you got to just train them back to okay, now we got to shift our focus. So if this is what you've gone against, now, and it's what you do during the season. You game plan, then the next week you got to go to the next team, you got to flush what you did the previous week. So it's just that transition, but with an experienced team, it's not that big of a deal. Got a little bit of scout work now, so teaching the scout team how to look and how to simulate the defense that we're going to go against. And so just those things right now, but so far we've had 2 really good days of practice with it. So look forward to finishing out this week and going into next week.
Coach, one of the things, obviously, you've got UCLA coming up. That's the first game of the season. Every team brings different challenges. What do you see from the Bruins being the things that y'all need to focus in on in order to be successful against them in California?
Now, they're a very talented team. They're very big up front. Their defense line is like their best part of their defense, probably. I should say best part. Their strongest part. All 4 returning starters. Defensive end has had 10.5 sacks last year. 2 guys on the inside. One weighs close to 330. One weighs 320. So they're big, they're large. The linebackers are good players. They got a returning captain, I think, or a returning player that's played a ton of ball. Some guys are off the top of my head. And then all 4 secondary, a little bit new in the secondary. They got a transfer in from Bowling Green that's going to bring him some depth. I think he's projected to start. And very long in the back end, very tall, very long. So it's just a different animal than what you see every week in, week out. We have a phenomenal conference. It's tough. It's just the size. And then the depth that they have behind the size, that'll be the challenge, So for us, we got our hands full, but our guys, they welcome a challenge. They know it's going to be tough. That we respect our opponent. They got a great program out there, and Coach Kelly does a great job. They hired a young defensive coordinator from the Ravens, so there's a little bit of mystery to what they're doing defensively. So again, it's going to be a great challenge for us, but we go out there, and again, it's game 1 of the long season. Right, you got ring games or championship games, and the out-of-conference games are kind of like the games that you're playing to see what kind of bowl you're going to be in, hopefully. But our guys, like every game is like, they're honed in. So we're excited to get out there, and it'll be a great challenge. But it'll probably be a physical thing that we got to make sure that we have a good plan.